Hi, today we're going to be making a coil vase. I've already used the extruder. The extruder die I used is a small one like this. There's another one made out of steel. It's a little bit bigger, but this is a good size. I used about probably 2 pounds of clay, which is more than I'm gonna need. I'm only gonna make a small vase. Here's an example of a template I just made. This one right here. So I drew a template. You know, you cut it out and then you kind of have an idea of what your base is going to look like. And then I use this sideways to go around the pot to make sure I keep my proportions correct. I'll show you as we start to work here. So, I have a small sketch of a little vase that I decided I was going to make. I might change it just slightly. Okay, so the vase should look something like this. I really like that shape. Here's another version of what this vase should look like. Kind of fatter on the bottom, skinnier up top. It's just a small bud vase. And this is what I'm going to use it as my template. I already made a tiny little slab. I'm going to smooth it out with my rib. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I'm going to make a X. I already have my middle because I have the crease down the middle here, so I can kind of go in the middle and then go into like a little circle here. And then with that, I have my base. Now that I have my base, I'm going to really try to keep that shape and then just use my rib to get rid of those little lines. You don't have to, you will never see it, it'll be inside the vase, but let's get rid of most of them. All right, now we have the base for our coil pot. Now there's a couple ways you can do a coil pot. I could take this coil. If you see in here, I have one gigantic long continuous coil. But if I keep wrapping as one coil, I just feel like it starts getting crooked and it's a little bit harder to do the project if you do it like that. So the way I'm gonna do it is I'm going to It's a little short. Do them one at a time. I have one. Press that down just a little. I think I'm gonna leave this little area right here just so we have a bottom. Let's start right here. So there. Now the next one I'm going to make a little smaller. So this is our foot, and then I kind of have a little secondary foot. This next one, I'm going to make get a little smaller. Notice I'm cutting the ends of these flat because when they join back together, I really want them to be nice and even. So I wrap this around here, I meet up to here, and I cut it flat. And that should equal out pretty well. Now I'm gonna, actually I use this sometimes, but what works better is my serrated rib, which is right here. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go all the way around. And I'm bringing that kind of top edge into this bottom edge. After I do it, I use my rib or my finger to smooth it out. Just kind of pinch it and make sure I'm keeping it nice and round. Now I'm back, I have a little Lazy Susan. It's gonna make this a lot easier. So notice I'm putting a little piece of, you can put canvas. This is a piece of denim that I just had right behind me that I'm using. That way, this will not stick to this, which it wants to do sometimes. That's not too bad, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna make these coils a little wider. So now I'm going on the outside so that it gets slightly bigger. I cut this end off straight. Cut this end off straight. And attach them together. And I'm going to bring this down and make this connection. This first one's wet enough that, and I really don't mind that seam. Maybe I'll go and adjust it later, but I'm gonna leave that one. And then this one needs to get slightly bigger. I'm going back in. At this point, I'm kind of freestyling a little. This was going to be too small with these coils, so I'm still going to do the same shape. I'm going to make it smaller, and then it's going to go straight up. So I have about 1 or 2 more coils, getting smaller, and then they'll all be the same size from there. Good idea every once in a while, just clear all your boogers out. And if I have a coil that's a little uneven, now what I'm doing is I have these little pinstripes on my cloth here that Light a Swindle, one of our students, so generously made for me. But with those pinstripes, you use a piece of paper or a ruler. Now I know basically how big all these coils need to be so I can make this go straight up and down. You know, I start from here and I go to here. So as long as I keep that consistent, you know, the coils can stretch a little, so they don't have to be exactly perfect, but it makes it a little easier for me to know now how big they need to be. So now I'm just gonna come back over all this. Okay. Looks like Barbara Eden could come out of here if anybody gets that reference. Some of my students will, some won't. But I'm pretty happy with this. Then we'll biscuit, and I'll have another video for you next week. I hope you make this and enjoy making it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. We have manila envelopes, or we have some of this cardstock paper if you would like to try to make your own template. Have a great day.